All right, this is what they said. This is what they said, chat. This is what they said. Hold on. In case you didn't see, let me zoom in for you. There you go. This is what they said. This can be the entire segment right here. NBA scout calls out Victor Wembanyama, Spurs star not impactful at all on offense. This is what they said. This was the quote. Now, my initial reaction to this, I actually wasn't upset. I know a lot of fans were pretty pissed off at this. I understood it to an extent, but honestly, I feel like when you're double teamed or you're triple teamed in the game, you are impactful offensively. Like, obviously, Victor has to find a go-to shot, a reliable go-to shot against much tougher defenses. And you know, you just have to. If you're a great player, you have to. But he's super young. It's fine. And he'll find it when he actually has a legitimate offseason. But this is a wild quote. It is an absolutely wild quote. If you have to double team a player, they are definitionally impactful on the offensive end. That's the impact in and of itself. At that point, it's up to your team. Well, it's up to you as well to find the open guy, but it's up to your team to hit the open shots. And it's up to your team to keep the ball moving. Not allow them to get away with that, to constantly double team them. But yeah, just wanted to start off the video with that. With that being said, that's really all we can talk about when it comes to this game, right? I mean, no one in this game really surprised me. Everyone was exactly what, where I thought they would be. But Victor Wembanyama, as far as these 3-point shots, what the heck, man? 8 for 16? He hit 8 threes, guys. Wemby is a rhythm player, and now he's getting a groove with the new lineup. It's kind of sick. I'm not going to lie to you. So I know somebody said 28. He had 50 points in 28 minutes. I think it might have been 26. Splitting hairs, doesn't really matter. But he got 50 points. And you know what's the most impressive out of the 50 points? Or about the 50 points? Only 6 of them came from the free throw line. All right, this wasn't a Joel Embiid situation. All right, he wasn't getting all these crazy calls. I mean, if you look at the Wizards' reactions, you would think he was, but he wasn't. He wasn't. I thought the refs were pretty fair. Like, they weren't just giving him anything. And he's not at that point where refs are going to give him a ton of fouls. So yeah, it was just, I don't know what to say. 50 points. 50. And this is perfect going into the NBA Cup because the Spurs are starting to look better and better. So, all right. So, gosh, what are some takeaways from this game, man? What are some takeaways from this game? I guess I could start with negatives. There's not that many negatives, so I guess I can start with that. Negatives from this game is I have no idea. And it's not just his fault, okay? Popovich was doing the same thing, and I didn't understand it then. I did not understand the end keeping Keldon in the game. I know, a Keldon hater. I get it. I didn't understand it. And there's been quite a few games in this season that I don't get. I don't know if it's in his contract. I don't know if it's been promised. I don't know what it is about Keldon getting minutes at the end of some of these games. If he's hot, the only way I want Keldon in the game at the end of the fourth is if he is absolutely hot. But his perimeter defense was terrible. I mean, offensively, he wasn't that great, but that's really what it comes down to. He has to be great offensively. Now, I'm not going to put all that on Keldon as far as Jordan Poole getting 42. So with Wemby's 50, Jordan Poole did put up 42. That is not all on Keldon Johnson. But man, oh man, does it stand out when he's in the game at the end and he can just blow by. I don't get it. I don't know. How to unsee it, Clan. Starting to see what you're saying about KJ's game. Yes. It's a frustrating situation, man, because when he has a good game, people come to the stream and they're like, Clan, do you need to apologize? And it's like, no, he had a good game. That's the Keldon that's impactful. It's a, you got to give and take with him, It is what it is. When he's on, he's on. And when he's off, I don't know. And defensively, it was just horrid, man. I don't know why he is so bad when it comes to playing the screener. I don't know. It was a lot of confusion in which he did it again. He did this quite a few times this season, but where he'll double a player and he didn't have to. He should have just stayed on his guy. It's his responsibility. If the person he's guarding does a screen, it's your responsibility to make sure that person does not become open. They weren't switching. So I don't know why he did that. Very strange. Very strange. But yeah, it was time and time again throughout this game where I was just like, dude, the defense, come on. And they would just attack him. So that's the only negative there. Well, no, there's some more negatives. All right. We're not just going to harp on Keldon. Like I said, it's not all his fault. I'm really blaming the coaching here. Just like I blame Pop. I don't understand. You got to use Keldon most efficient way you possibly can. And I don't think in a close game, because the game became close, in a close game, he should be in like that when they're getting hot. I just don't understand that. And you have Julian Champagnie on the bench during this time, mind you. So I don't understand it. Anyways, another negative. Just like the chatter said, I'm starting to see what you're saying about Keldon. I'm starting to see what you guys are saying about Zach Collins. I was not too high on Collins this game. I'll be real with you. I don't hate him. I don't think he's... Oh, thanks for the super chat. I'm going to read it in 1 second. I don't think that he is like a trash player by any means. I still think that he's out of position. But, whew, man, it's just kind of sad when you take out Victor and they can immediately attack the basket. I do not like that. Yeah, that's true. 7 rebounds, 6 assists from Zach Collins. He didn't do poorly. I mean, too poorly. 16 minutes, getting 6 assists and 7 rebounds. It's nothing to scoff at. I just defensively, man, it's just whack. I think I blame it more on the personnel rather than just Collins. If we had a legitimate center coming off the bench, we'd be fine. But it is rough. Zach Collins, biggest cone on the team. Yeah, I don't know. So those are basically all the negatives. I don't really have any other negatives to go with. Let me read this. So thanks for the super chat once again. He said, AR Doc said, had to laugh at the Wizards defense double teaming Wemby near half court by the fourth quarter. Yeah, they didn't know what to do. It got out of hand. They didn't know what to do. At that point, you just got to make sure he doesn't get the ball, right? Anyways, so positives, everything else. That's my positives. Everything else was positive. Nice that Malachi was back. I heard the announcer say that he wasn't. So I was like, he's still injured? Nope, he actually got to play. So that was good. That was nice. He plays a pretty solid role when you use him in the right way. Blake Wesley, 5 for 5. He needed that. I think he's been struggling a little bit. He's been struggling to get minutes, honestly. I don't know if it's so much struggling on the court or just struggling to get minutes. He's been struggling to get minutes. So I'm glad that he was able to go out there, had a good time there. That was fun. So yeah, so those guys, I'm glad that they played their role, both of which had 13 minutes respectively. Not mad at it whatsoever. I know you'll look at this and say Malachi Branham, -22 plus minus. It's just the lineups that were out there. And obviously he's not the best defender in the world, but it's just the lineups. Devin Fitzgerald had a -18. So, it is what it is. Devin shot more shots in last game. I'm happy about that. He definitely still is, like you guys said, trying to get his legs underneath him. So he's still not 100%. I was fooled in thinking that he was basically 100% after that first game he came back, but not necessarily the case. Let's see, any other standouts here? Castle is who I thought he was. I think that once Devin Vassell is back in the starting lineup, I would love for them to just say, screw it. Harrison Barnes comes off the bench. I would love that. Or Julian Champagnie. Regardless, I don't want Steph Castle coming back off the bench. I think that he should start. He's a great finisher. He helps us get the ball moving, get the ball rolling, and I just like him out there. I just like him out there, right? I'm cool with that. Castle is making me proud. He played a good game. How many points did Sarr have? Sarr had 12. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Zach. I'm pretty sure when it's all said and done, Castle is going to be in conversation for Rookie of the Year. We just got to continue to use him, and he's going to have a pivotal role going forward because the Spurs are going to compete. I don't think that they'll make a play-in, but I think they will be competing and getting close, and we're going to be on people's radar, I'm sure. Sarr's best game yet, I think. Oh wow, really? Okay. What's Castle's best game? Let's see. Castle's best game came a few games ago against the Jazz, in which we lost by 1. 8 for 16, 50%. Almost 43. Well, basically 43% from 3. 80% from the free throw. Yeah, 23 point. Yeah. Hopefully he gets it. We'll see though. Anyways, wasn't you who said Vassell's the best scorer on the team? I stand by that. I think he's the best. Yeah, I think he's the best scorer on the team. I still stand by that. You think I'm gonna come off of that just because Wemby had a good game? I'm not gonna come off of that. I still think that. I think he's the most solid scorer we have, or at least the most solid shooter we have. I'll say that. Pure scorer, yes, Vassell is the most polished. Yeah, that's not a crazy thing to say. Yeah, I don't think that's crazy. Yeah, I think he is. Anyways, so yeah, overall, man, guys, I don't know what to say. I didn't even harp on Victor. This was an incredible game. I love the fact that it was a balance. It wasn't just him jacking up shots for the sake of jacking up shots. It did feel like rhythm, right? He was getting a mixture of things. He got some points in the paint. He got some mid-ranges. When his three started to hit a little bit, then he was more willing to take. It wasn't like, I'm just going to host up shots. Because the beginning of the season, that's what we were really worried about, where it was like, you're not taking any other shots really but threes. And you look gassed and you look tired. And it's like, oh gosh, are we going through this again? Are we going to have to look at some minutes restrictions? Like, what is it going to look like? But no, that is not the case. I thought Wemby did a phenomenal job of getting to the paint, taking advantage of mismatches, which everything was a mismatch on that court. So he just did a good job overall. I would like to see, hopefully now that his rhythm is getting going, I would like to see him do this against teams that really hit on his weaknesses, that have those really bulky guards that get up on him and make him uncomfortable. I would really love to be able to see him do this type of stuff against like the Houston Rockets or a team like that, that's really good at making him uncomfortable. The Wizards just weren't going to make him uncomfortable. This is what it looks like when he's going against most teams in the NBA. But just starting off this season, it was tough for him, right? Actually, we can just go directly to Victor Wembanyama game logs. Let's see. Yeah, so starting the season off, it was pretty rough. I mean, you had to start with the Dallas Mavericks. They did a good job of playing on them. He did a good job against Houston the second game, for sure. He did a good job the second game. But then they adjusted in that third game, and he only had 14 points. Now, this was terrible, right? Nobody was okay with this. The OKC game, that's where everyone was worried, where he had the 6 points. And OKC obviously is a really good defensive team. Jazz, not so much. Minnesota did a pretty decent job on him. So you can see that he's near 40% against the Clippers, 42% against Houston, 30% against Portland. It was like, oh my goodness. But the last 3 games, he has gotten it going, man. He has absolutely gotten it going. It could have very well been a 3-game winning streak. So the game that's coming up, though, this is where he's going to be, or we're going to be tested a little bit, right? We go against the Los Angeles Lakers for the NBA Cup. I'm not sure if that's home or away. We're going to check on that. Spurs are 500, by the way, if you were curious. It is at home. Home, okay. Chat told me anyway. So yeah, so really good stuff, man. I'm excited. We're going to try to see what happens. It's going to be on national television. All right. Our next 3 games is going to be on national television. You got ESPN, and then you go against the Mavericks again on NBA TV. And then you got the Thunder again on TNT. And the Thunder game should be a little easier than the first go around, since Chet will be out. Hopefully we're nice and healthy. But yeah, man, that was a fun game. That was an absolutely fun game. I'm proud of the Spurs. I'm proud of Wemby. And I know that the Wizards are a bad team. Okay, I know that the Wizards are a bad team. But at the end of the day, I thought that it was a convincing win. You know, as a lot of NBA teams do, they came back at the very end. The Spurs sat Wemby. Let's see what happened. I'm pretty sure it was when Wemby sat when they went on that run. So let's see. Actually, I'll just type in control find Wemby. All right. Let's see. Let's see when he came out of the game. All right, so 7 minutes and 30 seconds in which Mitch Johnson said, all right, we're up by 20. Wemby, get out of the game. And then from there, they end up coming back and was only down by 10. So initially they were down by 20. We sat Wemby for like 3 minutes and they were within 10. And then from there, it was just a battle into the end. So if Wemby would have stayed in the game, which obviously, you know, you got to give him rest. I get it. But if he were to stay in the game, hypothetically, yeah, that would have been a wrap. They really started to attack once he went to the bench. We need a legit center. Yeah, we just need a decent center coming off the bench. They're pretty pricey nowadays, especially true centers, true defensive centers. They do cost a lot. I still don't think going into the draft is necessary to do that. But hey, you got a ton of picks for the future. You got a ton of second round picks. You could possibly package those and get you a center if you need it. I'm assuming. We need a starting center and put Wemby as power forward. No, Alex. No. Everyone has learned their lesson on that. You don't want Wemby at the power forward position. You want him to have that room. You don't want to be congested at all. It was the same thing with the Olympics, right? I mean, he had one of the best defensive. I mean, actually, literally had the defensive player of the year on his team, and even they moved Gobert to the bench. So you do not want Wemby playing with another center. You're better off just letting him have that center position. Steven Adams to the Spurs. That'd be nice. But yeah. The Spurs tried that already. They tried it with Zach Collins too. It didn't work. Just doesn't work. We need a defensive-minded backup for sure. We need some type of backup. But it's okay. Like, that's not even the next thing on our list right now. The next thing on the Spurs list is finding a small forward, in my opinion. I think that's the next thing. The next thing is finding a power forward, or not power forward, small forward. And then from there, I mean, we'll kind of see how this season goes on whether or not we'll need another point guard. Castle just might be it. Collins is a great passer, just not a defensive anchor. Yeah, he is. Let me see if I missed any of these comments. This 50-point game is for Pop. Yeah, we got to talk about Pop. Trying to see if I missed anything. The Wizards are not that bad. They're young and are getting a lot better. I mean, I'm just going off the record. 2-7 is pretty doggone bad, but sure. All right. Wrapping up this segment. I'm happy. This was a good win. And hopefully we continue this win streak. We got some tough ones coming up, but I have no doubt in my mind that the Spurs can pull those off. Good stuff.